All right, we are back with the next episode of the Raiders Rambles. I am Jolt, your chief host of the show, and as always, joining us on the show is none other than my co-host Avira.
Ah! Hey, what's up, guys? I hope you are having a fantastic day. I'm looking forward to this episode, guys. This is gonna be awesome.
Oh, I know, there's a lot to go through, and some of the stuff that we've got just this week for you is gonna just bam, it's gonna explode. Now, joining us as always is our interim host, Noble.
I don't give two stuffs where you are. It's morning and overcast in Australia, so it's morning and overcast where you are. Get used to it.
That makes two of us, and I don't even need to any magic powers or control the weather. Because it's also overcast here where I'm at too.
Wait, are you a dragon in a costume or something?
Well, I have been called dragon-like names a lot of the times, and for the record, countless people have called me Spyro, so that counts. Plus, I have been mulling over the idea of being a half dragon myself. So, yes, there is some legitimacy to that claim. Anyway, that aside, the secret to this is all in the ears. Anyways, joining us for the show is this week is Ali.
Arf, arf, hey y'all, everyone, arf, arf.
Bork,
Oh,
bork.
right on. And how awesome do her beans look? Ah, gotta love it.
I
Oh,
know. The cutest. All right. So we have some. Well, more rather, Avira has some stuff to share with you, some artwork to share with you, and I guess it's really something interesting, especially if you look back and see what the first AIs were like when it comes to creating art. If
All
you
right,
remember
guys.
that.
So I'm sure you remember about a year and a half ago, thereabouts. The Raiders. We are talking about AI, a program called Dolly Mini, which is making some really spooky looking AI artwork of like fursuits and whatnot. Well, as of recently, I've been playing around with these programs, and I gotta tell you, and now I understand why digital artists are worried about
Right
these
to be
kind of
afraid.
programs.
I mean, at first, how it let's use a meme sake. How it started versus how it's going.
Right. So how it started? Well, let's see how it started at first. Let's see. Yeah,
How
here we go. It looks like a sleep paralysis demon, especially. I mean, look at this monstrosity. What the actual bonkers is this? But then, but
now,
then,
how is it going?
so this took me about 5 seconds to make, and it was free.
Now, Avira, don't forget you're referred to as a director and not an artist in this sense.
It it doesn't matter because
Right.
something like this, it could have been like paid for like $100 by some famous digital artist, but now I can just do this for free. Do you have those images, Joel?
Yes, I got something to share with you. But yes, semantics aside, because
These are
that's the whole
crazy.
can of worms.
I can't believe this is even freaking possible,
Yes.
bruh.
Look at this. It's a can.
It's like
It is.
that's wild, right? Like, yo, that's me. What the heck?
That's you. A piece of imagery composed in just a matter of seconds.
Like,
Right?
I'm a traditional artist. I paint and draw, like, stuff like that. So, but like, I understand why digital artists would be afraid of this. And this is something that we talked about before. Remember, like how this is going to impede on people, and some are like, no, it's not. Maybe it's not going to take over. But dude, I don't know. This is looking rather spooky. I have to say. Oh man, look at this shit. Look at how cool that is. Like, let's get real. What? A freaking computer made that? No. Stop it. Ah,
And
yeah.
dude,
I'm
my
gonna
dude,
print it
this
out and put it on
has
the.
I don't know what you can talk about this, but this has the vibe of being an album cover
It's
for
dead ass, right? Wow,
yeah,
that's
movie
so
poster back
wild. Oh my goodness. And I literally, I didn't have to talk to a person. I just typed in a couple of keywords on a computer program, and in like 3 seconds, it popped this up. And I was like, wow, why would I ever pay for a digital artist again, right? Now, it's not perfect. I'll say that for sure.
Yeah,
There's definitely some flaws when it comes to certain images. Like, it doesn't always make what you want it to make.
right.
But when it does make some stuff, I mean, it's indistinguishable from like a professional human digital artist, which I think that's kind of where it gets scary, you know?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
as it's the same thing. Like as with the live comments, hey no dragons, thanks for tuning in. First live comment, like maybe if digital artists were making quality art, they wouldn't need to be afraid.
I don't know, because it, like I said before, I think it's indistinguishable from what a digital artist could make. I mean, sure, someone could totally paint that for me, but I would have to wait a few weeks, maybe a month or so, and then I would have to pay them a lot of money to make this custom artwork, or I could just use an AI program and just make
Right.
a dozen images like with the snap of a finger. So it's really creepy because that's back in the day. A lot of furry artists were kind of scared about digital artists, taking our jobs because art back in the day was mostly just like hand drawn or painted or whatever. But then digital programs came out and it was like getting better and better over the course of the entire fandom. But now we have digital art. Sorry, AI art. So now, like, now what do you do?
Yeah. Like, um, yeah, I've been thinking about for a while. I was thinking about for a while now how I feel about AI art. In my opinion, I do not support it because it puts a lot of artists out of business, but I don't mind it. I can tolerate it. If somebody made something for me with AI, that's fine, but I do not, but in my opinion, I do not support AI due to how it's like, yeah, the reason that I said before.
Right. Now, I can totally see how this can be abused as well. I mean, let's say if I wanted to make some fake name on Twitter or some fake name and be like, hey, I'm a professional digital artist. I can make you anything you want. And then, like, I just use one of these programs and I'm making this crap for free and then selling it to people for like $100 each. Like, is that kind of unethical, or do you think it's valid? I mean, the tool is there. Like, people can use it like that, and I'm sure people have gotten scammed in that way. But is it really a scam? Do you think? Because I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't pay
Yeah,
$100 for that because if I can make it myself for free, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
like the furries that are online are saying that like, oh, I s- I stand against AI, and if you support AI, then don't follow me or whatever. Whatever. I don't support that though. Like yeah, I don't like AI like they do, but they don't have to tell people to like not follow them if
Mhm.
people think otherwise. That's ruining the purpose of like freedom of doing whatever.
Yeah, I agree with that. It would be like if they're using it to be unethical, like if they're using AI in unethical means to try to like, you know, scam people essentially, which is what I was talking about before. No, earlier I was just playing around with it and I was making some crazy shit. It looks pretty cool, right? Though, like, let's be real,
Yeah.
it's getting wild.
Yeah, people can use AI to like to play around with it or whatever. But as a thing to people out there, please do not use AI for like selling purposes or anything like that.
Oh,
Even though it's gonna even though it's gonna happen anyways, I just want to put that out there.
yeah,
So
right on.
personally, for me, when it comes to AI, if you're going out taking commissions of artwork and just using one of these programs like Crayon to produce artwork to then sell on to someone, bad. If, however, you want to use it just for a small piece, yeah, okay, fine. But for yourself, not for like throwing out everywhere. The other thing is using 3D programs or games like Second Life or whatever to get screenshots to do your own drawings, or even better, using an AI prompt to get an image to then trace over and convert to whatever you're looking at doing. So more as an actual aid, but not something that's going to be visible at the end. So it's basically the same as taking one of those little stick figurines, posing it, taking a photo, and then tracing over it in Photoshop. People do that sort of stuff. They do it all the time.
Yeah.
But there has to
Right.
be at least some level of use case. Now, for me, if someone goes out, posts an AI image, and proclaims that it was theirs, and it's clearly AI, that's going to piss me off. But, and I really hate the term AI in this.
Oh, well,
Don't be lazy. Be truthful. Say you're a director. People will get pissy about it, but they're just getting pissy at nothing because you're telling the truth.
I guess so. I just want to highlight a live comment we have here from No Dragons. He says, I would rather pay an artist I like than AI. But if I see a cool AI art, then I would absolutely use or buy it. And that's what I'm thinking too, man. Of course, you want to support the human artists, but like some of the things that I was able to generate using programs, sure, I'd like to get those printed out. Like, that'd be cool. But yeah, I see where you're coming from. I would definitely want to support humans first.
Yeah, me too. Despite all this, like, despite the fact that I can save a lot of money on art and all that, and there are some art pieces that simply just require the human touch to make it look right. Or that AI sometimes just gets it too goofy and it's it's hilarious, but
Yeah, but when it gets it right, I mean, it gets it right sometimes, and that's where it gets kind of spooky. Cause like you don't know. I mean, I don't know.
yeah, no, I get you. I get you. Oh, I mean, still, while we're still here on the before we get to the main items of the show, I know Nobles did send me something. It's the release date of one of the games that a lot of people have been looking forward to, aka Palworld, aka the game that is affectionately called by a lot of people Pokemon with guns, or slash Pokemon if America made it.
Oh yes.
Yeah, Noble, what do you make of it now that since you're the resident Pokemon expert?
Oh shit.
I'm honestly getting sick of Pokemon at this point. The latest games and stuff, no. I mean, I'm slowly going through playing the old stuff, but I'm not really much of a gamer. Well, anymore.
Well, right, I get what you mean, and I get how you feel. Like, that Pokemon has gone stale after what, 2 decades or so of games, but
Hmm.
yeah, now that it's out, it's on early access on Steam, and dude, it's like you do whatever the frick you want, and the developers will let you do it.
That is really fun.
This. I forgot about it almost. Shit.
Exactly. It's the big Pokemon game with guns, and you get to hunker up on a big Electabuzz knockoff that has the friggin' Gatling gunner.
It's Pokemon with pew pews.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, I'm hoping over this amount of time, it's been over a year?
Yeah.
I really hope they've actually ironed out a fair amount of the bugs and gotten a good storyline to it done.
I can imagine now in a Pokemon battle, Pikachu just pulls out a fucking gun and shoots the other Pokemon.
That's precisely what it is, Oh, yeah, and there are certain, pals in the game that can actually use guns that
Yeah,
I mean, fuck.
Blastoise, right? Shouldn't those just be like RPGs and like cannons and shit?
Exactly. Blastoise is a friggin', walking rocket
Come on,
launcher.
he's a fucking tank. Let's be real.
Exactly. Oh, and you know what people have also been wishing for if Pokemon went and explored darker themes, and this game gives it in spades because you know what, you can make a slave labor simulator.
Oh my fucking god.
Oh no! What in the bonkers?
Oh wow, a few things have changed about this thing.
Yeah, right. Like they're making friggin' AK-47s then.
Yes. Build all of the guns for the army.
This is
Mwahaha.
going to piss some people off to
What the
no
heck?
end. I really want some popcorn now.
I know you and me both. I'm actually kind of tempted to just go out buy the early access game and play the ever loving bejesus out of it. And you know what? It's actually quite accessible at least because it's not just on Steam, but it's also on currently on Xbox Game Pass. And you know what the funnest part of it though is? It's made in the same country as the people who made Pokemon, aka Japan.
Oh, fantastic!
Now, here's a question. At what point can some nut job turn around and be called a racist when they start going off about how bad this game is? Because I swear, some of the ranting that I see about from some idiots, it's just, are you absolutely sure you know what you're saying?
Right.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I don't know. A lot of people have a lot of problems with Pokemon for the animal abuse. I'm sure
Yeah, but
Peter
this
wasn't
just
so
takes
happy
it to a
about
whole
that.
nother level and just tells them like it's
The
there
whole
and we
nother
don't
freaking level.
we don't give a shit. You can do it yourself. Go out, not live your dream. Friggin' start a labor camp.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah. What the heck?
I mean, even though a lot of idiots say that Pokemon is like animal abuse or some bullshit like that, uh, I mean, technically, it's kind of like a cockfight, basically. Making two chickens fight, it's basically like that kind of.
Yeah, but once you beat up the other person's chicken and like they're on the verge of passing out, then you can steal their chicken and then make it yours, and then train them to go fight other chickens because
Yeah,
you're the Pokemon master.
yeah,
That's literally how it is. How fucked.
yeah.
It's a good show though.
Pokemon's basically cockfighting.
No dragons. You made a comment.
Oh yeah.
Remember when Peter tried to get people not to buy Pokemon Black and White by releasing Pokemon Black and Blue and just made it more people wanted to buy Black and White?
Oh, that backfired, right?
Yeah. That was that game was
Oh.
kind of okay-ish, but it just had Peter shit splattered all over it. If they toned down the violence a little bit, it would have been more of satire, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I guess so. Oh man.
PETA's are fucking hypocrites.
Oh yeah, especially since the way they decided to put down a bunch of dogs was just to throw them in a freezer while they're alive.
Yeah.
Makes me die a little inside. Oh well.
But yeah, what do you really guys think? Like after you guys have really got to look at just the gameplay of it all. It's friggin'
Yeah,
very
yeah.
interesting. But what did you think? Like, is this the sort of game you'd want to buy, if not for shits and giggles, but to live out, what you cannot do in Pokemon?
I mean, it would be fun, like to buy it, like for a laugh or whatever. But I don't think I would take it seriously. Come on.
I mean, fuck. Would you take this image Would you take this seriously?
Like I said, this shit would be really fun just to play around with. But bro, that's fucking bonkers.
I have to admit, the fact that are they bread guns or something?
Oh man.
Well,
Because
yeah.
it breaks the illusion that they're realistic and the ones actually using it are cartoonish.
Yeah, like
Eh.
you get real guns with cartoonish like creatures.
Okay, I wasn't gonna say this, but no dragons brought it up, so I was gonna be like, "Yo, what did Spyro do to the sheep? They're fighting back." Yeah, that's literally like that.
uh,
That's the fodder revolution right there. Holy bonkers!
Yeah, if Pokemons are like holding guns in front of me just to make me buy the game, then yeah, I would buy the game.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, I'd be like, okay, I'll buy the fucking game. Just please don't fucking shoot me.
Oh man.
all right. So now that that's that, we are going to move on to the first item of main items of the show. So let's start off with a convention saga first and foremost. Avira?
Does this involve pizza?
No, it's not.
Nah,
It's
this
it's
is a
actually
convention called Garden State FurCon, I
right.
believe.
It was a con that's getting off of its feet, and I do remember this because we talked with 4 years ago. We had a special guest called Dashing Foxy, and he was a product of its time because we had him on, and people were announcing all these plans for FurCons during the era when COVID hit at its worst.
Right. So this was about 4 years ago, height of 2020, and yeah, well, we had my buddy Dashing on, and we were talking about because he lives in New Jersey, and the last convention that I'm aware of was originally FAU, Furfinity United. That was back in New Jersey, but then they had since moved down to a different state, and then they ended up canceling. But yeah, Dashing wanted to make this convention happen, and he was on our podcast about 4 years ago. We were talking about that, like how to like the future of conventions, given the current state of the situation, because it was the height of coronavirus. Like it was a bonkers time, man, absolutely crazy. Everything was shut down, but he still wanted to make this convention happen. So it turns out that he finally did. But now there's some crazy stuff going on. It turns out that he's not really feeling too well. He had to voluntarily step down, or at least that's the public story, from this convention, and a lot of people are not so happy with him.
Right.
It's been a quite a rabbit hole. Rabbit hole, if you really
Yeah.
look into it.
Right. And now people have gone all up in arms because apparently we're the root cause of all of their convention's problems.
Yeah, I really don't get that. Some people were referencing tweets that the Raiders account made like 4 years ago when he was on our podcast, and it's like, oh, look at how evil and terrible he is. I and now they're just trying to get this convention canceled. As far as I know, no one's
So
ever done anything wrong. So
I'm curious if anybody out there's got like this giant pegboard with podcast with not podcast, sorry, but with furcons that they're planning to get shit canned.
well, my name was blacklisted, and I'm actually on the list of people who are banned, which is insane. Because this con is literally just trying to get off its feet, and I don't think that's a very good business decision for this brand new event to all of a sudden start excluding people because of who they're friends with. I really don't think that that's a good way to start inviting people to your event, right? It's kind of
Well,
messed
it's
up.
more if they're targeting who they consider to be unfriendlies, it's supposed to turn around and encourage others that they sort of want to bring in. The downside is that anyone can get banned for any reason. Take Rick and Morty. Someone goes off and blasts something that's not real, and all of a sudden the prick loses his job, and the show basically takes a nosedive.
Mm.
I mean, the idea of turning around, taking a step back, and waiting to see what happens tends to be a little, oh, that's not very good thing to do. But
Well, their own board
it
of
just,
directors was kicked out because he happens to be friends with me and was on our podcast years ago. And it turns out that makes him a bad person. So now this whole crap is going down, and they're blaming me for literally zero reason. That's the whole cancel culture bullshit I'm talking about. It's not.
I
Fuck.
yeah, I'm afraid. Like I'm trying to go to Memphis for me this year. Yeah, I'm afraid I'm gonna get banned eventually because who I'm friends with. Like, but at the same time, it's whatever.
I
the
mean,
other
at the
thing
end of the
is,
day, people are going to need to be resilient about, about their own events and their own conventions that they'd have to. And once they get past once they get past the big anger of the mob, then they're pretty much cleared.
Yeah,
what
You
people
know,
need to relearn, and this is important. One, you shouldn't focus on what someone or what you think
yes,
someone believes. You
yeah.
should be focusing on what they've done recently. Now, something from 10 years ago, eh, questionable. Some cases, yes. But the longer away something gets, if it's just hearsay, try to, yes, keep it in the back of your mind, but watch just to make sure. Because you don't know if someone's lying their ass off.
Well, that would be
People lie
fine
off
if
their
it
ass
was
all the
actually
time.
like a legitimate crime, but that's not exactly what we're talking about here.
But in our, just banning someone because they're associated with somebody else, it shows the kind of person you are. And what most people will, the common people usually think these days, that's the way to go. Well, no, what happens when everyone suddenly turns on you because someone makes up some lie or they think something about you?
Yeah,
And then you
it
become
really
the
does.
pariah.
It does reflect kind of like the predicament that the fandom is in right now, because everything is so, walking on eggshells, politically driven. It really is absolutely crazy like that. I mean, hell, we were just talking about putting on a fun event, and I wanted to help them out with that. Okay, so we're gonna have my buddy on our show, whatever. And then years later, they're like, "Well, you're all banned." Like they literally tried to ban the Raiders from this convention without knowing literally any one of us. But that's exclusionary. I mean, that's not what furries do. Have you ever heard of such a thing? That's crazy, man. What the
Yeah,
what?
if people have a fur con of their own, they should not ban people because of any controversial thing that somebody's in. They should only ban the person if they break any rules in the con or anything like that. I think it's ridiculous how people that own fur cons are like banning people just because certain people are controversial or something like that.
I just thought that was really strange because I've never seen a furry convention ban entire groups of friends before. That's just weird to me.
And then somebody
And
gets in there,
that's
takes
probably why
over.
Dashin got all upset, and they tried to ban him too. Like he got kicked out of his own convention. Like what the heck?
It's that's something, one of those things that they call a hostile takeover.
Well,
It,
allegedly.
I'm going to have to
He did
assume.
say that he stepped down because of health problems, so I'm not gonna make any allegations here, but it's still very suspicious in my opinion.
I'm going to make the assumption that a lot of people. It's been what, 10, 15 years since the idea of what people should do in public is acceptable. I mean, at the moment now, apparently jerking off in public or whatever is considered to be acceptable behavior.
Yeah, only if it's
So
Pride
this
Month.
kind of violent, this kind of rhetoric is also considered to be commonplace. It's getting really concerning because at some point, uh, there's going to be a social credit system brought in for the communities, especially for the furry community. I am waiting for some website to come along where if you want to be in the public space as a furry, you have to sign up with this website. You are then given a credit score on what things you say. So, for instance, if you start talking about some sort of cause in a positive way, or say X is negative, you get better point. No, I'm actually serious about this. I'm waiting for shit like this to come out. What was the very social site? Not really designed for artwork, but just you're posting shit.
I don't recall, but I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, a site like that brings something in similar to that about how many people like you. There was an episode of Black Mirror where I'm sort of pulling this from.
Was it like First Social or something?
Maybe,
Something like that.
but
Right.
at some point, you're gonna some community group or some idiot is going to get the idea that that's the best way to assume whether or not someone is a good person. I am going to sit there and probably turn my computer off and go to bed at that point. Oh, shit. Could you imagine how easy it would be to rig a system like that? Or to play it?
That's a kind of a spooky thought, man.
But I don't know. Enjoy this kind of behavior while you can, because it's at some point down the road, it is going to bite you horribly in the ass.
Yeah.
Right. Apparently, too, it's almost as if to the point it's like part of the resume of being a convention chairman has to include, are you associated with any of the furry raiders? Yes or no?
Yeah, isn't that yeah, what? What the hell? Of course, like I was literally offering to like help him with the convention. Like everyone fucking knew that. What's the problem? Can we not like put on a fun event and like make our fucking thing like in New Jersey? Like
That's
what's the
thing,
problem
yeah.
here?
Right, that's the thing. They don't, some people just want to have full control of the fandom. They don't want anyone to use
And then I
their
got all these
impact.
people coming out like, oh well, they're associated with the Raiders. Fuck this event. Like, really? Like, are you guys furries or are you just fucking bullies? Like at this point, like, why are you trying to
Yeah.
shut down events constantly? This is really actually getting kind of fucking crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, that aside, it's we'll see how things go with the rest of with FurCon, but now, or if if they really did use up the power, but to
I wish them
move
luck if they're not hijacked by alt leftist radicals. I mean,
right.
hopefully you guys can
Otherwise,
work
it'll
this stuff
just become
out.
like another boilerplate FurCon of 2024.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're just starting out trying to ban people, well, that's pretty exclusionary and pretty darn cringe.
Right.
So good luck with that crap.
Completely opposite to the way they're advertising their group at their event, I'm assuming.
Oh, completely hypocritical. It's insane.
Okay. Now, before we do look at the next item of the show, I would like to highlight a live comment, and I just had the time to check this out, and you're going to like this. Chucktacular, thanks for tuning in. A game I'm keeping my eye on for more info is Light No Fire. It's being made by a distributor that made No Man's Sky, and you can play as Anthros. What was that? And here's their website. Let me just put this up for you. Yeah, thanks for highlighting this to us. Totally slipped through the cracks. Here you go.
Oh yeah, how cool is this?
All right. Light No Fire is a game about adventure, building, survival, and exploration together. Set on a planet the size of Earth, it brings the depth of a role-playing game to the freedom of a survival sandbox. Get this. Says you can play as Anthros, but look at this. Just look at the little snippet here. You got whimsical. You get to ride dragons, whimsical little animals, and rabbits.
That is really cool. Hell, I want to ride a dragon.
Play as a rabbit. I mean, frick, we're furries. We have a natural predisposition to play furry characters.
Well, of course. They got that niche down for sure.
Are there doggos? Are there anthro doggos in the game?
it's early stages. They've only just released the trailer. We'll wait for more information for the time being.
Okay,
But
because
hopefully, like when we have more information, we might be able to live out that dream.
So
okay,
here's
because
hoping that there will be.
Yes.
yeah, yeah, because I would like to be an anthro-doggo. That's what I want in general, is to be
If they
a
got like
dog.
werewolves and stuff, yeah, that'd be cool.
Now I want to be a German Shepherd.
There's some, yes.
Arr.
I mean, it's a game I definitely am going to keep my eyes open for the next, in the years ahead till it comes out. Awesome. Now, this next item that we've got for you. Ooh, all right. Oklahoma bill would require quote unquote furries to be picked up from school by parents. Animal control, comma.
So, for those of you who have not heard, and yes, this is actually a real title. This is a real bill that a real legislator actually proposed. I
Well,
thought this was fake, but here we go.
right,
Uh,
and the key word to this is proposed, not
proposed.
enacted.
Proposed, right. So it has to be voted on, has to be actually going through all the bureaucratic processes and all of that, blah, blah, blah. But this is the legislation proposed here. An Oklahoma bill would require quote unquote furries. Hold on, scroll up. Nope, up. Other way.
I mean, I've got a different article up and hit up.
Well, this is the one about the Oklahoma bill.
That is correct. Yes.
So this is Bill 3084.
Would Humphrey's bill, House Bill 3084, would ban quote unquote students who purport to be an imaginary animal species, or who engage in anthropomorphic behavior, commonly referred to as furries, at school, from participating in class and school activities.
Hmm.
This bill would require parents or guardians to pick the student up from school. But if parents are unable to pick the student up, the bill says, quote unquote, animal control services shall be contacted to remove the student.
Yeah.
Oh.
You see, that's where I think that they lost people, because at that point, I think it sounds like he's just fucking trolling people. He's like, all right, if your kid wants to dress up as a freaking animal, call animal control. At that point, when he said that, I'm like, fuck it. You know what? He's not for real. He's not fucking serious. There's no way, right? How could he be
Oh,
serious about this shit, bro? Come on.
oh,
Ain't no
so
way.
yeah. Oh, so again, the media is fucking. They can't fucking tell the difference between a furry and a theory and an utterkin. They can't tell the fucking difference once again.
Yeah, well, how much time do these guys actually have to invest in learning about this sort of shit?
Yeah, what if they actually called animal control on one of these people? What if they did?
Yeah. Oh, so
That'd be
oh, so
crazy.
yeah. Oh, so
Like,
I have nothing.
put me in the kennel, motherfucker. Like, what? Like, what do you
Yeah.
even do?
Oh
Come
yeah,
on.
yeah. Yeah, watch me go to some fucking high school in Oklahoma, pretend to be a student, and then I just start doing crazy shit. And just like pretend to foam at the mouth and shit like that. Watch the fucking
Or
animal.
just like there was like some rando furry, I don't know, like in high school or whatever, and they came to school as like a wolf, like with a tail and ears and crap. Then they called animal control. Well, then what? Like, all right, are you gonna tranquilize me and put me in the fucking cage? Yeah, like, is he for real saying animal control in this bill? That is 3084. Yeah, okay. That is
Yeah,
some bonkers nonsense, man.
yeah. I just want to say I have nothing against Therians or Utterkins. I'm just saying once again they couldn't tell the fucking difference between those two.
Mhm.
It's 2024. They should know the fucking difference by now.
Yeah, they
Hey,
don't
is
know
there
the
a
difference.
what does the Wikipedia article look like when furries typed in?
I mean,
You really want me to go
is
there
that
and just
covered under this bill, or is it just about furries? Is it furry discrimination? What's going on here? It's furry discrimination. I fucking knew
it's
it.
that answers all the questions. That's the most important $1 million question that we've got to ask, right? Are we gonna make a new tier of society that puts furries below
Well,
humans?
now we're an oppressed minority group, and I want compensation.
Oh, for crying out loud. Oh, someone could spend hours going through this site.
I mean, fuck. At that point, we'll create our own little furry society, free from humans and shit.
Like, oh, this shit is so funny. Like, yeah, that shit may say that, but but like kids in like Oklahoma schools are still walking around wearing foxtails and shit as we speak. They ain't gonna do shit.
Yeah,
They
the
ain't,
fucking rebels. Let's go.
yeah, they ain't gonna do shit. I wore a tail whenever I was in high school. Like that's whenever I started being a furry. I'm like, fuck it. I don't give a shit.
I mean, heck,
Fuck
it's one of
yeah.
those schools in America are pretty crazy. I will say this though.
Yeah, fuck the normies.
I mean, now Oklahoma's catching the furry bug. Like they said last year, we probably were aware of this. Last year, Florida school board weighed in on whether kids should be allowed to wear furry dress as attire during a meeting about dress code policy. So now it's like, but you can't dress up as a furry. Now it's like, you can't be a furry. Your kid can't be a furry, or
What
no
the
school.
bunkers? No.
I mean, look, if I were an optimist, I'd actually consider this as kind of silver lining of sorts. If you don't trust the educational system, I mean, of course, you've got options like homeschooling.
The only time you should be like wearing your fursuit, honestly, like at school, is probably if it's like Halloween or something,
Right, or like if you get given like a mock-up day.
or like a sports event. Like if you're a mascot or whatever. I mean, like
Yeah.
let's be real, being a furry is hella cringe, right? Like you don't just parade that shit around public, right? Like it's a fun thing to do with your buddies.
Yeah, like you
At the
can
end of the day, right?
like you can wear tails and collars, stuff like that, but don't go full on it. Like yeah, don't go full out on it because most schools do not most schools have a no mask policy anyways, and
Mm.
plus you're gonna get extra bullied for it. Like
Yeah, I mean,
more than what you can handle.
I imagine a 5 to 10K full body fursuit would probably get pretty
totally.
mangled up in a school anyway.
Yeah, or I mean, imagine that. Like, what if we go whole yards and we have to cater to the kids that have like these furry tendencies because they want to ban people who engage in anthropomorphic behavior like Syrians and other kids. What if if school finds out your kid exhibits furry like behavior?
Kind of reminds me of the is your
Furry
son a
like
computer hacker
behavior.
thing.
Right.
if if my kid was a furry, I would let them wear like the small stuff like the tails and stuff, but I wouldn't let them get fully into it until they're like 18 because I don't know if they would be like fully interested yet or not because their brains are still developing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Hmm.
also one other little different matter. But that's let's be real because what's the core thing of this though? Are we I mean younger kids, high schoolers, or it doesn't really matter now, does it? Any kid who's a furry is gonna be kicked out of school, or they're gonna be shot with a tranquilizer dart if they resist animal control.
I never.
They're gonna have those giant nets and chasing them around the halls, right? What the heck?
Thank God I never experienced any of that shit whenever I was in high school, like wearing a tail.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness.
The only thing that I've had as a negative sort of thing was like kids pulling my tail, but that was it. And like taking pictures of my tail and posting it on Snapchat, but that was it too.
Yeah, I mean, still,
Groovy.
but can you imagine? Like, can you imagine this? The first day this thing
Oh,
gets signed off
we're
on,
good.
it's like imagine like the first thing it becomes like state news on Oklahoma, and like animal control has been called in to pacify a rampant animal at a school, and as it turns out, it doesn't go the way they think it does. Like, imagine that.
Plus, how the fuck are they gonna put the kids in like the cages? It's like those cages only fit like actual animals. Like the fuck?
I know.
Like how the
Oh,
fuck are
whoa.
you gonna? No, like yeah. Whenever animal control catches actual animals, those cages only fit for like actual animals. So how the fuck are you gonna put a student in there?
Oh, trust me, you can get some big dogs. So
I don't want to know, but okay.
Well, let's just say they haven't fought the whole bill like all the way through.
Yeah, that sounds pretty crazy.
Yeah, I don't want to know how they managed to like put one in a cage, but okay.
Yeah. Well, that aside,
Nasty.
I know. Well, let's see. Well, I mean, let's see how that goes, because I know furries have been getting in sort of as of late. Furries have been schools have been getting over into furry hysteria as of late.
I hope a furry at one of the schools in Oklahoma attacks the person that works in animal control. I hope they do. I hope they get attacked.
I don't know. That might
Oh
end up.
man.
It's pretty. Might have a myriad
I
of
could
different outcomes, but we'll see.
imagine that shit though, like a fucking student that's a furry, like that looks like that has fucking rabies, like foam at the mouth and shit, just suddenly attacks the animal control person.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, I know. It's. Imagine what they're all gonna say about this. Like, oh, that can only be so fun. I'll say
Yeah,
that.
like like just hissing at the animal control person and shit.
Holy bonkers.
I mean, I don't know
Anyways.
about yeah. Anyways, I don't know about you, but I'd feel a bit leery about sending a kid to school in the state of Oklahoma if he gets pulled through. But it's only proposed, so we shall see what happens. Months ahead. Anyways, to move on, we have one last item for you to share. Okay. All right. Ubisoft exec tells gamers to quote unquote get comfortable with not owning your games. Right.
This is something that we have been talking about for quite some time over the last few years. I would want to say, right, Jolt?
Right. It's something that's been circulated around the internet, a meme of sorts, called "You will own nothing and be happy. You will live in a pod and eat the bugs."
That's right.
And
And here we are. Now you can't even own physical media anymore.
no,
They
you
want to
can't
make it
even own
all.
your game. Yeah,
Nope, no, you
and
can't
now
have
you
that
have to
anymore.
you now have to get comfortable with not owning your games.
Oh boy.
And yes, and like you said, it's another big thing. Like physical versus digital. But like we've been seeing physical games, physical items being, physical multimedia being, slowly like phased out of the shelves here and there because not many, because of the massive push for digitization. But
Um,
has owning digital video games has its benefits, but it's possible that a publisher could erase digital games from all existence with a push of a button, unlike physical media you own.
I'm sorry, but no, I fuck that shit. If it's something that I could get physically, I will get it. Fuck that shit. No, because physical is much more easier to keep and save, and you'll know that you won't lose your progress on it. It's much more easier than like digital. But yeah, I know some things are like hard and not like I know some things are digital either way that you're gonna have to like use either way, but like yeah. No, fuck that shit. Fuck it. I fucking hate
That's
that.
a good point, actually.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Interesting. Hmm.
Yeah,
I
go on.
I'm kind of curious about something. How are people going to be able to budget for this?
I mean, if you want to go
See,
and follow what like with Ubisoft's way, it's a subscription plan that is putting forward called Ubisoft Plus.
the thing is though, you're going to have streaming video, streaming music,
Mhm.
streaming games.
Right,
At what point are you going to get services that combine all of that to give someone a bit of a discount?
at, and at that point, someone basically becomes like the Uber Netflix, the Uber Spotify, and
Hmm.
whatever. At that point, if you want to stream, if you want to stream everything and have it all digitized. And you're right. Like you see the point with the money issue too. Like you pay for a Netflix subscription for movies, and TV shows. You pay for Spotify for music, and then you pay God knows what if you want to stream games, like Xbox Game Pass. So it all adds up. You're right.
Now, is there an option for physical games at all?
Yes,
Like,
there
the,
still is. I mean, we've still got
Yeah,
consoles. They still make discs and
but
all
but
that.
but that's not like optimal, right? Like, it's more, I guess, like financially easier.
I mean, at the end of the day, yes, it's financially it's not optimal to buy this one at a time, but
Hmm.
you own them permanently. Not like you pay $10 a
yeah,
month for
Not with PlayStation.
Yeah. See,
Sorry,
that's
with the
that's a much
Xbox
stronger
One.
investment.
What I
right.
found with Xbox One is that you
Oh,
have
okay,
to
okay.
install and then you have to download additional content for the game itself, which makes it a little bit more difficult to access. Where majority of PS3 games and Xbox 360 games you can just plug in and
Yeah.
you're off.
That's it.
The Nintendo Switch is probably an excellent example of you can still
Right.
play it
So the Xbox has
regardless.
like an additional step to it.
Yeah, I'd hate to see what
Mm.
the current Xbox generations are like though, because yeesh.
yeah. I
It might be an extra step
I
or two.
I do pray to God that physical copies of like certain games will still be around for many generations. I pray to God for that because
Hmm.
yeah, I do get like physical copies of like certain games whenever I can because I'll know that like saving progress in like a certain game will be like more secure than like a digital um game than from a digital game,
Hmm.
like from a digital
Yeah, yeah.
download.
Yeah, and
100%.
here's the funny thing too. Like, I want to highlight a comment from Philippe Tremblay, the director of subscriptions from Ubisoft Plus. He says consumers need to eventually get comfortable with not owning CD or DVD collections, and this shift in mindset needs to happen with the gamers.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if it happened with
Yeah.
movies and stuff, what about with friggin' games? Like, I mean, I still have my collection of PS3 games all physical,
Oh, hell yeah, me too.
even if I don't have a console in
PS1,
place.
PS2, absolutely.
Yeah,
Speaking of games, I wish I could play Second Life and like VR chat again. Yes, those are like digital games, but like I I don't have a proper laptop for those games. So like I can't play them right now, and for like a good while I can't play them. Like yeah, some digital games I do trust. Um but like yeah, I mostly prefer like physical games though.
Oh, for sure. Awesome.
right. And let's have a look at Ubisoft's value proposition to all this. Just as a
Mhm.
wrap this up, they're proposing $17.99 monthly price for for subscription access that gives you access to games on PC and to the Ubisoft catalog on Xbox and PlayStation and what have you.
Mm.
And still with the caveat that you can play all these games whenever you want, you just won't own them.
Well, that's going to suck. I mean, God forbid, like, if their server goes down, but you still want to play the game in, like, 10
Right.
years. Like, what are you going to do?
Because yeah, and I get like now digital games and that they have they store their save progresses and all that in your profile on the cloud
Hmm. Yeah,
rather
yeah.
rather than in the old thing where in PlayStation, remember those memory cards?
Yep.
I do too. Yeah,
Yeah.
and at least on PlayStation, what your save file gets stored on your hard drive.
Yeah, you could just plug it in and, like, just, like, go back to, like, your original progress. Yeah, easy.
Exactly. And if you and like you said, the risk of digital stuff. Like, what happens if like the whole core server infrastructure goes down? You lose everything.
Yeah, that's insane. That sucks, man.
Look, to be honest, this kind of thing has been around since the Wii generation. So the Wii console had a thing where you could buy and download a game purely on the console itself without any digital media. I'm not sure if that's the first, but I do know that things like the DSi and the 3DS also had the similar sort of function, but I'm not sure when they were released. I'm not looking at the Wikipedia on it.
Hmm.
Oh my
That's
god, speaking
okay for smaller games, but when it comes to like full-fledged releases, I'm more concerned about what happens in like 20 or 30 years after that game's been released, whether or not it's still playable.
yeah. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt earlier, but I was going to say, like, but whenever you mentioned Wii, oh my god, that reminds me of Wii Sports.
I
I
got a
remember
ton of those
playing,
consoles still.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember playing Wii Sports a lot as a kid. I miss the Wii. I miss Wii Sports. Holy fucking shit.
Well, I mean, I still play it every now and then. I just did a couple months ago.
That's
Played some, like,
because
bowling or whatever. It was alright.
that's because you have the Wii still, probably. I wish I
Yeah,
had. I mean, I wish I had the Wii still. Like that shit got lost or broken years ago. Like this was back whenever I was a kid, whenever I used to play that shit.
oh, okay. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
All right.
Yeah, yeah,
I know. I do miss the old consoles too. I had a Wii for like a few little stint.
yeah. Funny thing. Whenever I used to play the Wii, I would play like this little airplane game in like Wii Sports, and I would just always like throw myself into the volcano, into the like in the Wii world
Oh
in the
my
game
goodness.
every time. I don't know why. I was a dumbass kid.
I always tried to get like super skilled with like the golfing thing, right? I wanted to like be the best golfer possible, and I was trying to like calculate exactly how to like get the shit to where it had to go. And I must have spent hours playing that. Oh my god! But I'm a good golfer, at least on Wii. But in real life, I don't know about that.
All right. So that is all. That's what we've got for this week. Wow, that's a lot of crazy stuff and a lot of crazy to cover. Lots of new games that we've discovered have come
Hmm.
out that we really want, and yeah, it's really amazing. So who's got a little closing statement that they'd like to say for this week's stuff?
Yeah, we can start
Well,
with
for me,
Ali or Noble. Okay.
Um. Okay.
I have to admit that whole FurryCon thing just shows how everything's going downhill. Yes, okay, fine. You're identifying people in the community that you believe are problematic and you want to, well, basically throw them off a building. Good luck.
Um,
I've seen where this sort of shit goes, and I'm just going to sit back and watch with the popcorn bag or box. The other thing is that whole student thing with, getting getting children dressed up as furries sent to the dog's home. That's just fucking hilarious. They're going to provide additional funding to the animal control in order to, maintain the children when they're in their care or custody. They're going to have like a little cage out the back where they stick the kid. uh,
all right. Ali.
Oh, so like yeah, AI was first, right?
Yeah, now that if you want
Okay.
to share, you want
So
to share.
like yeah, I have said before that like yeah, I do not support AI, but if somebody uses it or uses it to make art for me, that's totally fine. I just don't support it because like I said, it puts many artists out of business. Just like how there's an issue with today of how like self checkouts like at grocery stores are putting like workers out of business. Um, Another thing is that like yeah, I do find that funny like the like how Oklahoma is like making schools in the or supposedly I don't know if that's true or not like supposedly making want to make schools in their state like put kids that are like put kids that are like furries like have animal control take them away if the parents don't pick them up. Like, yeah, I could see that shit happening. Like, not really, but I could just see like a funny scenario happening. Like, I don't think that's true, but it's funny to think about at the same time. And the other thing is like, yeah, like I said before, I prefer physical copies of like games the most over digital copies. I'll take some digital copies, but like mostly I just prefer physical copies. But like, yeah,
Ali,
speaking, yeah,
out of curiosity, if you had the ability to back up and keep locally on like a thumb drive or something a copy of a digital game, would that be more comfortable?
say that again.
If you could have a backup copy of a digital game.
Yeah, it would be comfortable for me. because I know because it makes me know it makes me feel safe that like yeah my progress on a game is is like saved and everything for sure. But like speaking of like games though, like I just want to I want to like s- sing a little bit of the Wii Sports title game that like
Oh,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm yeah. But like yeah,
Right.
those are my opinions on the topics.
Oh, awesome.
and Avira.
Well, I have to say, for the last week or so, it's been very interesting. I've been playing around with AI art, and oh man, it's been freaking fascinating. The kind of stuff that they can come up with. I find that to be really, yeah, something to like keep an eye out for. And when it comes to upcoming furry conventions, yeah, unfortunately, this is something that we've been talking about for a while. When it comes to SJWs trying to hijack or destroy, events that people just want to help get off the ground and create. It sucks that this happened, but yeah, of course, I'm gonna still be here to like support my buddy. I'll try my best. But I don't know what the future holds for this convention. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm gonna be keeping an eye on it. I don't know about you guys. Aside from that, I hope everyone's been doing all right. For me, we're finally getting some snow here. This is
So
like
in New York
the second
City,
time it's sort of. I think we're getting about 2 to 3 inches, so not that big. But other than that, I hope everyone enjoyed the show tonight. So I don't really have much else to say except for that. Yeah, I'll see you next week.
absolutely, of course. As always, thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed that as we were making it and finding our discoveries. As always, our episodes are available on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Player FM, iHeartRadio, BitChute, and more further down the line. All right, that's all we've got for this week. Farewell, and I hope to see you around next time.
Ow! Bye.
Ow.